I put output format colon, and then I put in brackets, I put like the word input or input word or something like that,
Right,
and then
right.
I put output
Yes,
or
no,
output result.
that's not the way that the brackets are intended to be used. The brackets are a source of information that is going to be something that you would imagine is internal to the AI. Okay, so like for example, in a moment we're going to be looking at the prompt, which is the same birthday as, you know.
Okay.
And so what happens is that when you're looking at the concept of like the same birthday as, which is essentially the spectator enters, let's say, Brad Pitt, right? And since you have the prompt of same birthday as, then the result is Steven Spielberg, right? Okay, because
Okay.
Steven Spielberg has exactly the same birthday as Brad Pitt, right?
Mm.
Okay, and so what happens is that there is this layer of abstraction which sits in the middle of the intelligence of the AI, in that the first thing that the AI has to do is it obviously has to determine the birth date of Brad Pitt, right?
Right.
So then once it knows that, it says, "Oh, I now have a date," right? Then that date is that I now need to look up someone that has the same birth date as this date, right? And so you notice how there is essentially this intermediate information, piece of information that's there, and that happens to be date. And that's the reason why the term date is in the brackets, right? So that's basically it. It's, if that's Mark, Mark, if you could please turn off your mic there for a moment, and then we'll be back in a moment with you if you have a question. Yeah. So Jeff, I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, like I noticed on like your prompts, like in the example you just gave, for example,
Yes.
uh, the output then will say it'll put like Brad Pitt in brackets and then Steven Spielberg after that.
Right, right. It shouldn't. It there are the AI is somewhat unpredictable when it comes to these layers of abstraction, you know. And so there are prompts, and a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, Guy is going to be on here shortly. Guy's probably going to be on in less than 4 minutes, so Guy can go a little bit more in depth about what what we've experienced is because we have actually tested the AI a lot, obviously, right? And so there are things that we ask it where it just doesn't get it right, and I don't want to say that to seem like we don't have confidence in the way that it works because there's a lot that it does that it just does perfectly, right? But the
Yeah,
moment that prompts become more and more abstract in that there is several layers of reasoning that are required before an answer can be obtained.
hmm
That's when it becomes more difficult for it to consistently give you the correct results. And then also one of the reasons, and also like one of the reasons somebody else has their microphone on. So if you could please turn off your mic
Rodolphe,
before we
Rodolphe.
maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I defaulted to everyone having their microphones on just because I didn't really know what was going to happen. But yeah, this is great. We have a lot of people joining us. This is amazing. Um, so essentially, that's the thing, that layer of abstraction that's in the middle is what sometimes can confuse the AI in doing the wrong thing, you know? And what's also really fascinating about this is that there are prompts that we have played with that are so complex that even ChatGPT 5 gets it wrong, you know? And the
Yeah.
only time that ChatGPT 5 actually gets it correctly is when we use the most advanced thinking model of ChatGPT 5. Okay. And I'll really quickly give you an example of it just because we do have a few minutes before we officially start. Okay. Imagine you ask the AI to create a simple sentence or a haiku where the second letter of each word is the letters for, let's say, home, or any of the input letter, or the input letters in order, right? So let's say, for example, if the input word is frog, and you say, I want you to create a haiku where the second letter of each word is FROG, but you're not specifically saying that. You're saying that, take whatever is the input, in this case, the word frog, and create a haiku where the second letter it is. Even ChatGPT 5 will actually screw that up. It will get it right for the first word, but then for the subsequent words, it will only use ROG as the first letter of the words that it created.
Uh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
By the way,
yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went into Inject AI here, and I opened up the same birthday thing, and
Yeah.
I have to correct myself. Um, when I put in Brad Pitt, I said before Brad Pitt comes up in brackets. It doesn't. It actually what comes up in brackets is December 18th,
December 18th.
and
That's
that
correct. Yes.
right, and that's
Yeah.
in brackets, and then it says Christina Aguilera
That's
uh,
right. That's right.
after the brackets.
That's right. That's right. Right.
But
Right. So, what you see in the brackets is never going to be output, right? It's
okay,
that abstraction that's there that is there to guide the AI in the right direction. So basically, in the way, in all of the examinations that Guy and I went through, and it's mostly Guy and many of our beta testers, we realized that we need this extra layer of guidance that we need to be able to give the AI for it to be that much more reliable. Whereas in contrast, if we were to do something where we were just simply very verbose, where we just simply said, yeah, give me the whatever is the person that has the same birthday as the input person, right? Then it would get it wrong, right? Now don't get me wrong. What's interesting about this is that if we were to subscribe to like the most expensive AIs that are available on the market right now, then that would work actually. you know.
right,
But then one of the other problems with that is that unfortunately the more expensive thinking models actually take too long,
uh,
which defeats the whole purpose,
right,
it
right,
being instantaneous. So even though the result is completely correct, you know, it took it like maybe somewhere between like 5 to 10 seconds to come up with that result.
right.
You
Okay,
know?
yeah. So like that in my case, like for my homemade props, it's returning like the if you will like the input not inside brackets, and it's also in the same line returning the output not inside brackets.
Right.
So is it doing a Google search on both the input and the output then if the input's not being returned in brackets?
Right, right. So the brackets is just simply being used to guide it further. So whatever you see in the brackets, like for example, date,
Mhm.
is what is essentially guiding the AI into giving you the answer of, oh, I need to look up a celebrity that has this date for their birthday. You see that? That's it. That's the only purpose of it. When I was writing the manual, I should say when I was making the video for the manual, I recognized that this is an abstract kind of a concept that's very hard to concretely communicate. But that's pretty much one of the reasons why we gave the examples that we gave.
Mhm.
Just so that people can kind of like look at the example and say, "Oh, I get it." In brackets, it says date. Right. As a matter of fact, we should actually get started right now, Jeff. So let me
Okay.
quickly
Yeah.
share my screen here with everyone. Wow, we got a lot of people joining us. Oh, there we go. Admit all. And I am going to ask Zoom to share the screen. Here we go. Desktop. Okay, awesome. So you guys should all actually see my screen, right? Yeah.
see your
All right.
screen.
All right.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay. So along the way, as more and more people join, I'm going to go ahead and admit them here to the Facebook group. Frankie is here. All right, Frankie. Good seeing you, brother.
What up, Greg? How
Hey,
you doing?
man. All right. So for first of all, thank you everyone for joining us. Guy and I could not be more excited about Inject AI, and it's one of these things that when we first started working on it, we knew that you guys were going to be like super creative with it, just because AI being as powerful as it is, and for it to exist within the Inject universe has got a lot of applications. As a matter of fact, one of the first things that I did actually with Inject AI is that I used it with the Lumen Pro pad, and it worked great. So I wrote something down. It went through Inject AI. It came up with the translation, and it went ahead and it transmitted that correctly. Which is surprising given that, Inject AI works with every aspect of every Inject product, even without obviously having a connected Inject product. So, what I want to do today is to quickly highlight um, how you set up Inject AI, just for the people that have not set up Inject AI and this is their first time. And then later on, we're going to jump into some of the more advanced applications of it. And I know that Gordon is here with us as well, and Gordon's got some absolutely amazing prompts that I'm like really delighted that he's going to be able to share with us. That he's generous enough actually to share with us, because he shared this with me about a day or two ago, and it just blew me away. So you guys are in for a treat and for what Gordon's going to show you. All right, so let's get started with just the setup for Inject, or in this case, Inject AI. So I'm going to go ahead and ask my phone that is connected to my computer right now to be displayed on the screen. So here we go. There we go. Here's Enhanced Inject. Okay. So you guys can all see the Enhanced Inject window here on
Mhm.
the right-hand side, right? Okay,
Right.
awesome. So I'm going to say View. I'm going to
Tuolla
click Admit
hetkessä
All.
päästä aikaa
Yeah, so
katsomassa.
as people start joining this meeting, I'm going to just constantly admit
Taikajuttua.
them. Yes.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Mm.
All right.
Uh,
So let me move that out of the way. Frankie, is there a way of setting it up so that when people come in, they will just automatically be admitted?
Yeah, so if you click on what says security, there should be a button that says disable meeting room or disable waiting room.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
it's going to be secure.
Under security.
Okay, let me jump into that over here. More. Is it going to be security on their website, or is it actually within the app itself?
Within Zoom's app.
Within the Zoom.
Gordonkin on
Okay.
kohta täällä kertomassa.
mhm.
So if you click on host tools, there's a
Ai,
disable
ilmoittiko
meeting.
sinulle?
Is it if I click on what? I'm sorry?
Host
Ilmoittiko
tools.
sinulle tässä?
If somebody else
Ystävä?
has their microphone on, if you guys
Tää
could
on jo
please
ollut täällä.
mute that. There we go.
On arrête, on voit demain.
I'm trying to see if I can find. That's okay. I'll just kind of like put this window here on the side, and uh, as people join, I'll just turn it on because I'm trying to see under more.
It's under the host tools. There's a little shield button on the bottom next to show
Oh yeah,
screen.
there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are using enhanced encryption. The meeting is recorded. I see the shield icon. When I
There should be
click on it,
a disable waiting room.
there should be a disable waiting room. No, I'm like right clicking on it. Nothing's coming up. I right click on even the bar.
I
Nothing
wonder
comes
if
up.
you might have to disable it within your at the website then.
On the website. Okay, okay. Now that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All
no
right, no
worries.
problem. No
We're
problem.
not worried
All
about it.
right. Okay, so here we go. So Inject AI works inside of Enhanced Inject. Okay, and for those of you who have not purchased Enhanced Inject, that's really easy to do. So you can see here that the device that is here in the middle of the screen represents just like any mobile device. So just going to go to rustamimagic.com. So here it is. There's OstamiMagic.com. And as we scroll down here, you'll be able to see Enhanced Inject, which is right there. It's on sale for $40. So you go ahead and you purchase it. And when you do, in your email, you're going to get a link that will allow you to access Enhanced Inject. And once you do, you are going to see the window that is currently right now in the middle of the screen. And so this is the Enhanced Inject user interface. At the top of this page, or I should say, just when you see the title and you scroll down a bit over here, you're going to be able to see where it says Inject AI subscription. And by default, that actually is not going to be subscribed, obviously. And that's when there'll be a subscription button there. And when you click on it, it will take your method of payment and you will subscribe. And once you are subscribed, then it will basically show that your Inject AI is active, or the subscription is active, and you're ready to proceed. Okay, so that's really as straightforward as it gets as far as like setting it up goes. Is that yes, you do need Enhanced Inject, and once you do have Enhanced Inject, then you'll be able to jump in and get started. All right. So the next item of business is, as we scroll down, the new version of Enhanced Inject has been broken down into these wonderful tabs. So you could see that by default, you're going to have that customized list or customized settings, pardon me, be off. And if you just simply turn it on, it's going to turn on, all of the customization options where you got everything from footer links, sidebars, all the way coming down to Inject AI. Okay. And so now when we open up Inject AI, here is where all the juicy things about Inject AI are, which is, of course, starting from the top. It says watch the Inject AI tutorial, where you can watch my video manual that takes you step by step through all the things I'm showing you right now. And then below that, we have just the basics of setting it up or enabling it. So, of course, by default, the AI processing is enabled. So that means that it's going to actually work. But you have this master toggle button over here that if you just simply wanted to turn off your AI for whatever reason, you can just go in here and obviously turn it off and it will get turned off, right? Underneath that, you got the trigger mode where you have an option of either having any thump or any transmission that happens in Inject going through Inject AI. So what that means is that regardless of it being anything that's transmitted, like it could be from a swipe transmitter, a list transmitter, it can be from other products, anything and everything that comes into the Inject world, when you've got any thumb selected over here, will go through the AI. I personally prefer it that way, and that's the reason why my trigger mode is set to any thumb. Of course, if you don't prefer it that way, and you're the kind of person who's going to be performing Inject AI only with what you do with Google Peak, I recommend that. You just simply switch it over to Google Peak. And the reason why we provided this toggle is for circumstances where magicians are performing, where they've got, let's say, effects that they do with a swipe transmitter, and they don't want those swipe transmitter, transmissions to go through AI. And that's the reason why you would just simply switch that over to Google Peak only, and only these Google Peak things would go through the AI. Okay? So that's basically what that's all about. And then the rest of it is, of course, the prompts, which is what we're going to be talking about here in just a moment. All right. So that's the juicy parts of, or I should say the basics of setting up Inject AI. But now, if Guy is here with me, before we jump into some of the really cool advanced prompts, or even just some of the basic prompts and how you use it, if Guy is up here, please speak up, Guy.
Hey, Greg, I'm here.
Hello, hi Guy. How you doing? Yeah,
Hello.
I see
I'm
Guy's
doing
video.
great.
There he is down there. Thank you, Guy, for
Yeah,
joining us. Yes, for
no
those of you
problem.
who
My
have
pleasure.
for those of you who have never met Guy Delfrat before, he is an extraordinary developer. There is there is less than a handful of world-class developers in the world, in the magic world, and Guy is one of them. He is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
His coding style is unbelievably smooth, and I'm certain that you have all noticed that everything that Guy has ever made is unbelievably polished and beautiful. So it is my pleasure to work with Guy on projects like this, just because of, oh, hey, look at that. Somebody that showed up. That's cool. I gotta turn that off. Right. So that's basically how it works, right? Pardon me. I mean, this is Guy was the reason why this happened, and then also this is, the development of Inject AI was something that we had thought about for a long time because from the moment that any kind of large language model came into the scene, this is a logical evolution of, pretty much any kind of magic product or magic app, just because, we're dealing with information all the time, you know. So that's God, man, there's all these people that are jumping in and joining, which is good. All right. And so before I say anything else, Guy, is there anything else that you want to add before we jump into like the basic prompts and then more advanced prompts?
No, I don't think so. I think you explained so well. And
Okay.
I think it is a fun fact that this is a project that I don't know if Greg told you before, but this is a project that has like 1 year. It was like in the end of 2024 that I reached Greg and said, "Oh, look at this." I had like a little prototype of the Inject AI. So it's a 1 year project that has been evolving in all this year, you know. So we are very, very excited to introduce it because I personally think this is a game changer just for the correction prompt, the
Mhm.
most simple prompt. It's already really a game changer because I lost the count of how many times the spectator misspells something and type like Brad Pitt with one T and or something like this.
That's
And
right.
our prediction, if we are doing like a laser inject, or even if you are using like a printer, like using glyphs or something like this,
That's right.
it's really weird that you had the same error. So just this first prompt right here, I think it's a game changer,
Yeah.
and there is so many things you can do with enhanced inject. I think Greg will explain the prompts that are included when you subscribe. But of course, you can create your own prompts. You can test your prompts on the UI. So it's really simple to try things out and see how the things will work with your prompt. So yeah,
Yeah.
we thought about the Inject AI a lot to make it as easy to use and as powerful we could make. So yeah, keep going. I think
All right.
you is the best man to explain everything because you are so clear. And my English sometimes I struggle talking. So yeah, go ahead.
All right, no, thank you. Thank you, Guy. All right, thank you. So let's get started. In fact, I'm going to get started actually with exactly what Guy just highlighted, which is the correction prompt, which is the reason why it's the first prompt that you see in Inject AI, which is simply labeled correction. And so you can see that the prompts are broken down into you give a prompt any name you want, in this case, correction, and then below it is the actual prompt itself, where it says correct any errors in the input. So the language, of course, here is important. So throughout the prompts, you're going to see the inputs referred to as input, and the output is obviously the output, right? So that made things really, really clear for us, and it makes it clear for the AI. And so creating prompts is almost like thinking about it like almost as if it's you are trying to be as clear as possible and communicating with an intelligence what you want to have it do, right? And then later on, when we talk to Gordon about the new kind of prompts that Gordon is engineering, this is going to even make more sense to you and how Gordon actually uses AI to create prompts, which is just crazy. Okay. So, correction, let's do it. All I'm going to do is put that window here to the side, and I am going to bring up my other device over here. So, basically, one device will be the transmitter, while the other device will be the receiver. And here, I'm going to set this up to be my fake Google page, which looks like that. There it is, right? And you can see that you can access the fake Google page, I should say, pardon me, the AI part of Inject AI, either from whatever you're going to be using as a transmitter or a receiver. As a matter of fact, you can even set your prompts here within the Inject AI user interface. Okay, and that's the reason why there is simply this option over here that says select. Okay, so if you tap select, which is right there, I'm going to go ahead and tap it, and then I'm going to tap save up on the top over here. Okay, that prompt now has been saved. Oh, Google just picked up on that, right? So here on the right-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and select correction. Okay, so correction has now been set. And if I was to
And
transmit,
sorry to interrupt you.
no problem.
And if you leave the tab, just a curiosity, but if you leave the tab where your Google is opened, and then turn back to the tab, the UI will automatically update with your selected prompt in the Enhanced Inject interface. So
That's right.
Greg, he just selected the first prompt, and as you saw, the first prompt was not selected
Right.
on the fake Google page. But it's just a matter of leaving the page and coming back, and you
That's
would
right.
see the. But once you select, it's selected on the server, so doesn't matter if you are seeing or not the prompt selected.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Yeah. And if you're not necessarily even seeing it, you do know that it's selected. And as Guy said, just by simply refreshing this page, that would have been selected. Okay. So the way that Guy has set up this user interface is that when you look under trending searches, you'll notice that here's some of the text that's over here for the trending searches. But on the left-hand side, you've got this little up arrow that goes like to a diagonal. And this is a really brilliant part of Guy's user interface where he ghosts the icon that represents which prompt you're currently using. So right now, you'll notice that, of course, we're using the correction prompt, and that's the reason why that first arrow is slightly ghosted while the others are unghosted. So by the magician just simply looking at their fake Google page, they will know if they're currently using AI or not. And by the way, this is in contrast to what would happen if you just disabled everything. So if you disable it, notice that none of these arrows are ghosted, which means that the AI is not being used. Okay, so it's disabled. All right, so let's go ahead and enable it. So we go back to correction, and that's enabled. We're going to use just about anything to transmit, let's say, something into Inject. And I'll just go back to my browser over here. We'll open up a new tab. And in that new tab, I'll jump into my Google page. And for correction, we'll do something as crazy as spelling pencil like this. Okay. So you can see that you can literally misspell it any way you want. It doesn't matter, right? And so now when I hit search, you'll notice that over here on the receiver side, the AI has recognized that it's the word pencil spelled incorrectly, and it has done a correct job of correcting that spelling mistake, you know? Whereas if we didn't have Inject AI, obviously the misspelled version of it would have come across, right? And this applies really, really well in circumstances where you are even using any of the electronic impression devices. So either if the electronic impression device has a hard time picking up what the person has written, or if they misspell whatever they have written, of course, it's going to correct for that as well, So that's one of the reasons why correction is just so powerful and so important. All right. So that's correction. And let me just move on to a few of the others that are over here. So as we go back to my phone, one of the things that I get questions about all the time is how do I even activate Inject AI, or how do I even activate Enhanced Inject in general? So I want to just quickly go over that.
You don't.
If whoever's got their microphone on, if you could please mute your microphone and unmute it only if you want to jump in and ask a question. So here we go. So as far as activating Inject AI goes, the only thing you got to do to activate it and to have it work in your Inject is what you're about to see here right now. So it says after you set up your enhanced inject any way you want, down at the bottom of enhanced inject, there is the button that says save and generate the code. So when you tap on that save and generate the code, what you'll notice is that there is this new area that appears right below it where it says tap the code below to copy it. So all I'm going to do is with my finger, just go ahead and tap on that code. And above it, it says the code was copied to your clipboard. So the website actually gives you feedback that what you just tapped on right now was copied, to your clipboard. And so now at this point, if you switch over to inject, so here we go, I'll launch inject. All right. And in inject, all you're going to be doing is just do a left swipe on the Google Peak. You're going to tap on the word edit. And then where it says default search text, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like empty out whatever is in the default search text, just so you guys could see it with nothing in there, which is what happens by default on a lot of people's accounts, right? And then here, no, it's required. You don't have to worry about recording this meeting, by the way, guys, because the meeting is actually being recorded right now on my computer, so that later on I'm going to post a video of this on our Facebook group, so you guys can all watch the playback of it. So I'm going to go ahead and decline this, request for recording the video. Don't worry, it's going to be on YouTube. You'll always be able to access it. So I'm sorry if I'm declining your video record right now. All right. So here we are, default search text, and it's normally just blank. So if you just tap at it, okay, you can see that the option for paste is there because we had just copied it from inside of the Enhanced Inject website. And now you're done. That's literally it. You just copy and paste that code under the default search text. And now when you hit the back button here in the upper left-hand corner, you're set with all of the features that Enhanced Inject has to offer. We're talking about not only Inject AI, glitch, footers, like everything, the autofill technology, all the amazing technology that Guy has developed now has been integrated with your Inject. Okay. So I just wanted to go over that for those of you who have never done that before, so you know how easy it is to do something like that. All right. All right, somebody else has got their microphone unmuted. So, or mute, yeah, please mute your microphone if you're not asking a question. So we don't hear a bunch of like random chatter that's going on in the background. Thank you.
Greg, I just, at this point, you should have a setting in Zoom to mute everybody
Yeah.
somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, but there
You
is
wanna
one
you wanna
somewhere.
make me host so I can mute people on the spot, Greg, so you're
Sure.
not shouting
Sure,
and being
Frankie.
distracted.
I'm gonna make Frankie into a host right now. Make host. Okay. Frankie, there you go. You're the host.
Yep. I can't mute people.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Thank you. All right.
Yep.
You got it. Okay, here we go. So, that's since we're now all set up and we've seen like the basic prompt of correction. Okay, let's take a look at a few others. And once again, I'm gonna open up the phone, which is the simulator phone over here. It's got a nice big display on it. Let's go back to my fake Google page. There we go. Just tap and opens it up. There we are. Okay, great. So, correction, right? Capital is pretty self-explanatory. The capital of his place. Most famous work is the one that probably a lot of you have used already, just because it is by far one of the best ways of creating a disconnect between what's the input and what's the output. Mainly because it makes it really feel to your spectators that you're doing like real mind reading whenever you use prompts like most famous work. And it's actually the reason why we put it as prompt number 3, just because, again, Guy and I thought it was that important and a one that you guys should probably be using. Okay, let me just quickly show you how it works. You just simply select most famous work. Notice that the only thing you have to do is just tap on it once, and it recognizes that's the prompt you want to use, and it gets rid of the user interface. This is in contrast to what I talk about in the manual, where I talk about you have to tap it, and you got to tap it again. So Guy just made that change in the user interface. So it makes it really, really easy for you just to select the AI prompt that you want and proceed. By the way, some of the reasons why we do this is, of course, because for speed, for brevity, we want you to be able to, if you're setting up your AI prompts right in front of your spectators, we want you to be able to do it with a minimal number of taps on the screen. Okay, so there's not a lot of fuddling or messing around with the spectator's phone. Okay, so here we are. We have the most famous work selected. I'm gonna bring back any device that I can use as the transmitter. So I'll put these side by side so you guys can see what's going on. There we go. And if we're gonna be using, let's say, our fake Google page over here as a transmitter. So here it is as a transmitter, and I'm gonna go in here and do a search for Brad Pitt, just because I can't think of anybody else right now, right? Brad Pitt, you do a search for Brad Pitt. On the right-hand side, you'll be able to see that it says Fight Club. Okay. So something else that's really important here is I want you to notice that the transmission not only has transmitted to the whatever's the receiver. In this case, I'm using it like with lazy inject, right? But I'm going to stay signed out just because I don't need to be signed into Google. The Not only is it being received, by like lazy inject receivers, like the way we're using it right now, but even as a push notification. This is super important in circumstances where you are only peeking at that information, meaning that you don't want your reveal to be some other phone. Now, Guy and I very much we're not like against it, but we feel that the most organic way that you can do app magic is when there is, a part of your performance which is analog. And obviously, in circumstances where you are doing like classic Google peeking, where you're just simply revealing to your spectator what they're thinking of, your reveal is analog. You're saying whatever it is that they're thinking of, right? So, whereas the transmission is the only part of it that's digital. So in this case, in cases where you receive a push notification that says Fight Club, it means that when you get a peek, either from your watch or from your phone in your pocket or from any one of the peeking devices that are currently on the market, you're going to see Fight Club, right? So what you're revealing to your spectator by speaking is the word Fight Club. Okay?
Greg, excuse me, can I interrupt for a second while you're on
Sure.
the subject?
Yes.
In this example, you're showing that the search is being done on the transmitting phone. Now, the transmitting phone is another way of saying the performer's phone.
Well,
So,
the transmitting phone is a spectator's phone. So right now, the phone that's on the left-hand side, this device here that I'm like kind of going over with my mouse, is the
oh, I'm
spectator's
sorry.
phone. Right, right.
I'm
And
sorry.
even
I'm sorry.
no, that's
Okay.
okay. That's okay. And even the device that's on the right-hand side is another spectator's phone. Okay, so in this case, what you have done is the presentation is very simple. You're saying, hey, if you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly do a Google search for either a movie or a TV show. I get a feeling for something, right? And you just borrow this phone over here. And as you saw, the only thing that you're doing on the phone on the right is you are just going to put in your inject URL. Okay? So
Hmm.
there it goes, and it's ready to rock. Now, if you have not set up your AI prompt before, then at this point, you would tap on the three dots that's there, you would select most famous work, and you're ready to perform, meaning that you have now told the AI that you want to use the most famous work prompt. And that's it.
Okay.
You're ready to go. And so then this phone over here, of course, can be anything, and you can proceed there. Now, just because Jeff asked that question about, transmitter or receiver, the transmitter can actually be the Google Stats page. And I love this aspect of Inject, meaning that the transmitter can be a phone that you never have to touch. And in the demo video for Inject AI, I actually show that as I'm performing for the young man that does a search and the television show is what appears. So let's go ahead and quickly do that. So here we are in Realist. Okay, so Realist pops up, and I'm gonna choose to perform on my phone, but this would be a situation where you are asking a spectator to do a search for Google Stats. As a matter of fact, I'll go through it here for you just so you can see step by step what it's like, so in contrast to talking about it, let's actually do it for real. So here we go. I'm choosing perform remotely on my phone. So the phone that's on the left-hand side represents my phone. All I do is I launch Realist, I tap on perform remotely, and then I'm going to look over here and see what my pairing topic is right there. And 99% of the time, the pairing topic that Realist is going to give you is the topic that you had selected. And what I mean by selected is right here under the gear icon, you'll notice that in the settings of Realist, where it says topic pairing selection order, whatever is the topic that's at the top of the list is the topic that you would prefer to perform with. And the reason why I like video games is because the video games icon is the last icon that's on the Google Stats website. And we're going to see that right now in just a moment. Okay, so here we go. Perform remotely, we're ready to rock. It's on video games. We're going to switch over to any browser. So at this point, you ask any spectator to bring out their phone and to do a search for Google Stats. And that's what they're going to do. They can type in Google Stats either as one word or two words, it doesn't matter. And Google Stats will appear in a Google search either as the first, second, or third thing in a Google search. And in my case, it appears as number one. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. And so now remember, this is the spectator that selects Google Stats. And you tell them, yeah, it's Google Stats. It shows you all the popular searches that are going on in the world. And then you ask them to scroll down the page, all the way to the bottom of the page. They're going to see the video games topic and for them to select video games. And so they do. They select video games. And so now, because they selected video games, their phone is now paired with your phone, which is just crazy of how well that works. Okay. So now you say that, yeah, video games is a topic that I'm really interested in. And of course, the Google Stats website, can show you information about anything in the world, right? So what I want you to do now is up on the top of the page, I want you to do a search for like any famous actor or actress, right? So at the top over here, let's say the spectator jumps in and does a search for Julia Roberts. Okay. Now remember that what you have done on the first spectator's phone is that you have already opened your fake Google page and you have selected for the most famous work to be the AI. So it's ready to go, right? And so now that spectator does a search for Julia Roberts. Of course, they're doing that in secrecy. You don't know what's going on. They hit the search button or return, and now watch what happens. Okay. So now you could see that what the spectator sees is a search for Julia Roberts in the real Google Trends website. And so at this point, you say to them, it's like, yeah, you did a search for somebody. It's showing you, what the interest in this person is over time. And if you scroll down, it shows you where on Earth there is the most amount of interest in that. And now, of course, the transmission has already happened. Now, you haven't said who we have searched for to anybody, but even before you did a search for someone, on Bob's phone, so let's say, for example, the phone that's on the right is Bob's phone. I say, on Bob's phone, I had done a search for a movie, right? And so say, Bob, could you please show it to everybody? And Bob shows it to everyone, and everybody can see that I had done a search for a pretty woman. And then I asked the spectator, who did you search for? And she says Julia Roberts, and the crowd goes crazy, right? Because Julia Roberts is, of
Yeah.
course, the leading actress in Pretty Woman. All right. So that's it. That's the reason why we made the most famous work be the prompt that's there. Okay. So now that we've seen like the basics of prompts, I'm gonna get into some of the more advanced uses of prompts, which has happened within the last week or so. That's really, really gotten me excited, which is how you guys have been creative with creating prompts. So here we go. If there's any questions before I jump into this phase.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Greg, when you connected the two via Realist, Is it just automatic when they get into that category like video games and do their search? Do you have to swipe on your end or do anything?
No, no, not at
Okay,
all. There's absolutely nothing that you do on your end.
got
If
it.
you watched my performance on the Inject AI video, you probably noticed that I don't go into my pocket. I don't do anything. It is one,
That's why I was asking because it's just I was like, okay, how is he connecting the two when I normally
right.
would swipe, you know?
Yeah, there's no swiping, there's no interaction with your phone or their phone. You are obviously never touching their phone. They can be someplace else in the world. It could be having a phone conversation with them, and this trick would still work.
Perfect.
The act of pairing is them simply selecting, in this case, the video games topic, and that's all. Which is one of the reasons why this pairing technology works as well as it does. It's just flawless.
It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's jump into some of the cool new applications of the prompts. So here we are back in the Inject AI interface. Okay. And as I come down, here is the prompt that's got me more excited more than ever, and it's called emoji. Okay. So, emoji couldn't be any more simple than look at what the prompt says. Output the input using a few emojis to perfectly convey the input. Okay. So, uh,
Stuffing.
sure. The way that I love performing with this prompt is I simply say to the spectators, isn't it crazy how young people these days actually communicate in emojis? Now, when emojis first started, I just thought they were ridiculous, but now I even find myself using emojis all the time because it's kind of like it transcends text. So I'm going to try something. I have a feeling about what's going to happen right now, kind of like a premonition, but I'm just going to look it up as an emoji, right? So you borrow a phone. So again, the phone that's on the right-hand side represents a spectator's phone. And you say to them, I'm going to look up an emoji, because actually, believe it or not, Google will show you what meanings of even emojis are. So all you're going to do on the phone on the right side is jump into your fake Google page. And so once I do, and here it is. You're going to tap the three dots and you're going to select, in this case, emoji. So that's it. We're ready to rock. All right. So on the right-hand side, you are doing this either by using Realist or the Google Stats website to transmit, or you can use the fake Google page to transmit. It's totally up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. So I'm going to switch back over here to another tab. Let's say I just jump into my fake Google page over here. There it is. And I'm going to do a search for something absolutely ridiculous. Okay? The more ridiculous it is, the better. Now, what's brilliant about the emoji AI prompt is that it gets the gist of what you want to communicate, regardless of what that is, and it shows it as emojis. Okay? Just to show you that. Like, let's say, for example, I go in here and I type in Forrest Gump. Okay. So Forrest Gump, you wouldn't think would translate to an emoji, right? Watch this. Forrest Gump. Okay. Look what's going to get received here on the right-hand side. That is just brilliant. Okay. What you're noticing these emojis are is you've got a man that's running, you've got chocolate, and you have an icon that represents a movie. And Jeff is laughing, right? So, what an incredible method of disconnect between what your spectators have searched for and what you have predicted on anybody else's phone, right? A running man and chocolate and movies. And so that's why when you basically take Bob's phone and you show it around to everyone, what everybody sees at first doesn't make any sense. They're like, okay, it looks like there's a guy that's running. There's some chocolate and it looks like a movie clapboard. Huh? Right. And it only
Greg, a quick
makes
question.
sense when the spectator reveals that they were actually thinking of Forrest Gump.
Greg, I got a quick question for you.
Sure. Sure.
I'm looking through all my AI prompts and I don't see emoji.
It's not there. That is correct. It is not there.
Oh, there you go.
It's not one of the default prompts. Right. It is Rick, by the way, thank you so much for being a part of our group. Again, I really value your
Okay.
input and your
Thanks,
support.
man.
So yeah, it is actually in our Facebook group. There is really a brilliant contributor to our Facebook group that posted, I want to say almost like 2 dozen AI prompts, and emoji was one of them. And you guys are welcome to just go in and copy and paste those
So
prompts.
basically, just going to put the name, emoji, and instructions. Just copy what he had for the
Right.
prompt and just put it in there, and that's it.
That's it. I mean, and you can see the prompt right here, Rick. Okay, let me go
Right. Okay.
minimize that just so you can see it. It's
Yeah.
as simple as it gets. I simply called it emoji, and the
Right.
prompt is output the input using a few emojis.
And that's it. No programming, nothing. Just those
Nothing.
words, and it's over.
That's it. That's it. So, as a
I'll,
matter of fact, if I tap on the try button here right now, and under the search term, if I did a search for green cloud, right? Watch. Send. Okay, look at what the response is. There's a cloud icon and there's a green heart,
the green. Okay.
right?
Also, you can make like anything. I
You can
mean,
make anything, and that's one of the reasons why I love emoji. It's because like I keep thinking of things that I think would stomp the emoji prompt, but I just can't.
okay.
I think of like the most esoteric things in the world, and it comes up with the most brilliant set of emojis that communicates whatever that thing is that I'm trying to say. You know? So yeah,
So
try
base.
it out. It'll blow you away. I highly recommend it.
So for a name, you could put down musical group, and the instructions pick out the most famous
Like,
song by that group.
sure, sure. Like for example, watch. Let's say we do Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, there it is right there, right? I probably misspelled it, but that's okay. Sent. Pink Floyd.
Huh.
I don't know how well that communicates Pink Floyd, but you get the idea.
I'm saying, but for a new prompt, it would be musical group, and the instructions find the most famous song by that group.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
so
If you
they'll
want to
pick
create
Queen,
a
and you'll get
sure.
Bohemian Rhapsody as a prompt,
That's right. That's right.
as a
That's right. If
prompt.
you wanted
Okay.
to create a prompt which was most famous song of input artist, by all means, you
Hmm.
create that
And
prompt
and
and you'll get it.
and by the way, probably the included prompt that says most famous work will probably
Yeah,
work with this idea already. Because
yeah.
if you
I think yeah,
try Pink Floyd, maybe it will output an
and the
album
song will come up.
or a song.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can be really specific on your prompt. You can say like take the most famous song. If you know that you are be presenting using a singer or a group or whatever. So
Okay.
yeah, you
All right. That's,
Right.
wow.
So,
Wow.
so Rick noticed that what Guy just said, we just tried it. Here's Pink Floyd and the most famous work, and it says Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Right. So
All right.
whatever people think of Pink Floyd, obviously Dark Side of the Moon would be very prominent, right? Yeah.
Great. Hey, thanks, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So that's as far as the prompts that are kind of like basic. Guy and I kind of like call these very linear, like A to B kind of prompts. And because Jeff was asking a little bit more about the more advanced prompts, I'm going to quickly touch on that before we go over to Gordon. I hope that Gordon is still with us. Gordon, are you still here with us? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Gordon. Hey.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you,
I'm
Gordon.
excited to show you some stuff too.
Yeah, yeah. Gordon is just like jazzed. And when he showed it to me, I was smiling and I was jumping up and down, going crazy. All right. So here we go. Little bit more advanced prompts. All right. So one of the prompts that you can see over here just simply says birthday of, which is a pretty simple idea. It just says output the birthday of the famous person in the input, which makes sense. You type in anybody that's famous, it gives you their birthday. But then when you get a little bit more advanced, we get into this area over here, which is called same birthday. Okay. Now, this is where there is a piece of information that is intermediate information that the AI has to think about first before it generates an output. Okay. And in this particular case, whatever is that intermediate information is what Guy has set up that you put inside of brackets. So let's go ahead and read what this prompt is. It says, most famous person other than the input that has the same birthday as the input. Output format should be open parentheses, open brackets, date, close brackets, famous person's name. Okay. So what that means is this. What we want this prompt to do is to return another famous person that has the same exact birthday as the input person. So the example that I give in the video manual is if somebody looks up Brad Pitt, it returns Steven Spielberg. That's because Steven Spielberg has exactly the same birthday as Brad Pitt. Okay. But think about, what the AI has to think about as it processes this information. First, it has to take the input of Brad Pitt and it has to look up the date of the birthday of Brad Pitt, right? It needs that information. But after it has that information of the date of the input person, then it has to find another person that has the same birthday date. And hence the reason why we are guiding the AI by putting the term date in the brackets. Okay? And just to show you that working in practice, we're going to go ahead and tap on the try button over there. We will type in Brad Pitt because I want you to see exactly what it responds back with. Okay, here it is. Notice that what the output is that Inject AI is generating. The first part of the output is December 18th, which is in brackets. Whatever you see in the brackets will not be transmitted to Inject, meaning that we use that as internal or information that's just for us for the AI to be able to process that correctly. We also show that to you when you are playing with the try button so that you understand that the AI is internally recognizing that Brad Pitt's birthday is December 18th. And it has correctly looked up another famous person that has the same birthday. And hence, the final output actually here is Christina Aguilera. Okay? So that's how the brackets feature works. And the purpose of the brackets feature is any kind of a prompt that you're going to have that's not a linear situation, where there's not A to B kind of a thing, where the AI has to internally process some more information before it comes up with an output. Okay, that's when you're going to be using the brackets. And I will give one more example of that before I hand it off here to Gordon. And that is right here with a prompt that says flag colors. Okay, let's see what that prompt says. Flag of a country other than the input that has the same colors as the input, output format, colors, and then name of country, right? Which once again makes sense. So if you were to type in for the country France, I'm going to go ahead and do that here for you just so you can see what that's like. Okay, so here we go, France. And we do send. Okay, watch what's going to happen now. Okay, it understands that first, the colors of the French flag are blue, white, and red. Okay, and it also understands that another country that has the same colors in its flag is the Netherlands. And so, therefore, the final output is Netherlands. Okay. So again, a good example of how there is not this direct linear A to B situation where the AI has to kind of like think about this intermediate step before it produces the final output. Okay?
And by the
Right,
way, I
great.
think,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking on the last one where you did the birthday and also this one, presumably. If you were to now run that again, would it always come up with the Netherlands? Or would it, if you left it as France, would it always come up as Netherlands? And the birthday, if you put Brad Pitt in there, would it always come up as um,
Steven Spielberg or Christina Aguilera? No,
Chris,
it does
yeah.
not. It does not. No,
No, okay, that's
no.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about a neural network. A neural network is like a person. Okay,
Okay.
it's not a computer program. It
Another
is
thing,
literally billions of neurons.
if you get the peak on your watch or whatever, does the bit that's in the brackets and sort of ghosted out in the thingy, does that come through, or is
No,
it just
it
a
does
result?
not. Right. So the only thing that you would see on your watch in this particular case here would only be Netherlands.
I
So
think
what?
a nice way of thinking about the brackets is like a tool, an extra tool that you can use. You will only know if you need to use it when you type a prompt. So if you try a prompt and you see, because when we are were creating the prompts, Greg was trying this prompt of using outputting the same a person that has the same birthday of another, and it was wrong every time. Every time the AI, every time no, but most of the time the AI would hallucinate and tell any artist. So the brackets is a tool that you can use in these situations. If you see that the AI is not answering really well, just thinking that AI is a text completion tool. So if the AI is completing a text, is writing a text, and the text it's outputting, it's has the information she needs to know. The answer will be more accurate. So in this example, if the Greg don't tell the AI to write the brackets with the colors, it may be right or may be wrong, you know? So
That's
the
right.
brackets, it's an extra tool. If you
Next.
are seeing that there's some prompt that is not working as you expect, just try to type the output format explicitly, so you can write this information. So it's a way to make an information useful to the AI, but hitting in the thumb. So
That's right.
it's a nice way to think about the brackets. You don't need to think about it until you reach some place where some prompt where you can't
Where it
do
fails.
other way. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You know, I'm glad that Guy brought that up. You know, if you try a prompt and it doesn't work, try thinking about your prompt deeper using the brackets feature, and most likely that will work. And that's actually the reason why we invented the brackets feature in the first place. Yes.
And by the way, Greg, can I show another example? I don't know
Sure.
if I can share my screen here, because I have another example with it's a great prompt for the Halloween too. I want to share with you.
All right.
That says, let me find it here. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
If Greg stops sharing, you can share.
Yeah.
Oh
There we
yeah,
go. I'll stop sharing over here.
let me select my
There you go, Guy.
where is my QuickTime here? QuickTime, it's here, okay.
Uh-huh.
QuickTime Player and share. So are you seeing my
Yes.
screen?
Yes, Guy. We can see your phone right now.
Perfect. So this is the idea. It's called spiritual connection. The
Wow.
idea of this prompt is to use with glitch. So you ask the spectator to think about an artist that it's already dead, you know, that it's world known. And let me just try it here. So I will type Elvis. And when I thump, the answer is I'm Elvis Aaron Presley, the king of rock and roll, baby. So the idea is that
Wow.
the prompt will
Wow.
write the way it will try to mimic the way the artist talks or express himself
That's gold.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And the And the way I was trying to do this prompt is that I wanted to the artists to write in the language they naturally would write, you know. So it's if it's because I'm living in Brazil, so if it's a Brazilian artist, I need it to be in Portuguese. If it's an American, in English, and whatever. And I was trying to tell the AI to write in the artist language, but every time I tried to search for something like a date of death and the name of the artists, but in Portuguese, the AI was messing up. So if I searched for um, date of death in Português, data de morte, Michael Jackson, it would answer in Portuguese. And it's not how I want the AI to answer. So what I did here was to I specified a format saying first on between the brackets, type the input language, the language the input was written, then the artist name language, and then the phrase. And this way, the AI now has context because the AI know that that language is what they need to use. So this is another example where I was trying to just tell the AI. And by the way, in the prompt you can see use the artist's native language and mimic the array and blah blah blah, but the AI wasn't understanding that. So the brackets came to save me on this example. And by the way, I first tried just brackets, artist language, and the phrase, and it was messing up again. And even with the brackets, so I added another bracket saying, "Oh, okay." So side output the input language, then the artist language, then the phrase, and now it has more context to output the way I want. So this is an idea. I by the way, I will share this prompt on the group so you can use it. I tried with the glitch, and it's awesome. And by the way, the last version of the enhanced inject automatically scrolls the
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 text
search
window.
text, the text field when it's bigger than the size of the text field. So it's like someone is typing actually. And another just to uh, as I am already with my screen sharing, another idea I had, I don't think I have this prompt in English, but I think I shared with Greg the prompt in English.
Yeah.
The idea is to use this AI feature to give you more information about what the people are searching for. So in this way, you can do something like a mind reading. And this is the prompt, by the way. I will try it here in Portuguese, but you will understand the idea. So let's say you are
Guy, your
people.
screen for some reason is like skewed. Okay,
Are
there
you
you
seeing now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I was I was using the center the center stage for Mac. Why it was
There you
skewed.
go.
But
There you go.
um let me try it here. So let's say the people asked for searched for Michael Jackson. So you will receive a pic of more information about the Michael Jackson. So here we have the artist name Michael Jackson, the full name Michael Joseph Jackson, the title or I don't know how to say apelido, the nickname, Rei do Pop, King of the Pop, um, the birthday date, the star sign, it's Virgo, the death date, and the city where he born. So this is a cool idea where you are trying to mimic some extra sensorial thing. You will talk with the deaf. So when the spectator search for an artist, you will receive more information about that artist. So you can be like, oh, I'm seeing someone from Indiana, United States. Can you see on the Google results page if it's Indiana, and it will be, oh yeah. So it's a way of, again, disconnecting the what they search for what you are actually performing. And yeah, just to share a couple ideas here, and that's it. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, yeah. Gee, thank you. Thank you so much for both of those. The one where Elvis speaks like, and within Elvis's voice is brilliant, especially
Yeah.
with the, glitch for Halloween. So, this last thing, which we're going to share with you, and I want to thank Gordon for being so patiently waiting while we go through all of this, is when Guy and I first started, our thoughts were that a prompt is just a prompt. A prompt does, you have an input and you have an output, and the input has a certain purpose of it being a person or a word or whatever, and then there's the output. But Gordon, being as brilliant as he is, saw it beyond all of this. He saw it as a superset of tools. What if a prompt could be so smart that it can accomplish a lot of things in only one prompt? Like a master prompt that would be smart enough to decipher information, regardless of what type of information is coming in, and give you the correct results. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to Gordon and let Gordon talk about it.
Okay. I guess I could talk if I unmuted my microphone. Can
Yeah.
everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Gordon.
All right, good. Good to and so I've been messing with this for a long time now. Ever since Greg first told me, but he's like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I want that. And so I've been beta testing and I've been bugging Guy to get me a couple features that they haven't even really talked about yet. Because they've been talking about like doing stuff with the searches and with the realist page and the inject page. But some of the things that I like doing with it, or some of the things that I've been messing around with, are actually the normal transmitters. For example, like I created a transmitter that are just the two initials for the cards. So basically, it's like AH for Ace of Hearts, 2S for Two of Spades, and things like that, all the way down, and it's just a simple transmitter. But what my prompt is, and Guy shared this with me because I wanted something to do this, and so my prompt is convert convert the playing card abbreviation from input into full card name. Write numbers as text. Use 10 for X, Jack of Hearts as, for example. So basically, he just told me to put those couple of examples in the prompt. So now I can show you what I do is so that way I have the swipe transmitter on in my pocket. I could put it on the black swipe screen or whatever. So then I could transmit a playing card to, like, for example, the Cosmos wallet. And what it'll do is, like, let's just say I do like the three of hearts, like that. And then it'll transmit and take just a second here to do it. Let's make sure we're connected. Might have been, of course. It disconnected while I was here,
It's okay.
but it's all right.
Gordon was actually going to demonstrate the wallet. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just well, but the idea is that for some reason it disconnected, but we'll go from there. But the idea is it prints out the full concept of the thing. So it's like you will choose the three of hearts. So in my like it turned off as I was sitting here, but if in my presentation I would just start it up and I'd just say, hey, name a playing card, and then they would name one. I would just swipe in my pocket, and then sure enough, it would print out, and I say, oh, before I even started, I had this print up in my wallet, and it says you will choose the five of hearts or whatever. But the basic reason that Greg wanted me to come here is to talk about the master prompt. But the reason I wanted to talk about some of my basic prompts is why the master prompt came about. See, I always wanted to stack what I can do, and so the concept came to me is because I have ChatGPT Plus, because I use ChatGPT on a regular basis for my everyday job and doing coding and keeping up schedules and things like that. So I said, how can I get the best prompts possible? Well, you go to the source, right? So basically, I just go into ChatGPT and say, this is what I want to accomplish. What would be the best way of writing that as a prompt for you to accomplish that? And then it comes back and it spits out the prompt, and then I go and test it in Inject AI to see if that works, and it usually works correctly. So the other day, I was sitting and I was doing it. I was like, you know what? I have to go to each one of these prompts to do what I want to do before I start. What if there was a way to just have the prompt start via the input? So what I did is I just took a screenshot of all six of the prompts that I had loaded them up into ChatGPT, and basically just asked ChatGPT. I said, take these prompts and condense them into one 500 character prompt that would work so that way it would be based on the input. So this is my master prompt. And basically what happened was it created a prompt that said it was about 485 characters. But when I pasted it into Inject AI, Inject AI said that it was only 370 characters. So I was like, I went back and I said, what's the difference? Why is it so different of a reading here? And it's because, oh, ChatGPT uses coding context and it's counting those as characters as well, whereas Inject AI is only counting the actual characters and the spaces, and that's all it's counting as far as character count. So I said, okay, since we have 130 characters to play with, let's make this prompt as accurate as possible. So basically, it gave me the prompt, and so it just lists the prompt as instruction, detect intent from input text. So I have five different prompts that I have set up with this. So the first part of it is if input is a known celebrity, output name is month, day, and year. So basically, Inject AI just takes a couple seconds to see if the input is a celebrity, and if it is, it returns with the date that the celebrity is born. And then the next one says if input contains month and day, give correct zodiac sign, and if zodiac sign is Cancer, include the word zodiac. And the reason that I did that is because you want it to be very specific, and if in the results you get just Cancer, you're going to get actual Cancer in the results, not Cancer zodiac. So that's why I made sure to add the word zodiac if the response is Cancer, so that way it's specific enough to know that it's the Cancer zodiac and not the other forms of Cancer within your search. So then the next one is if it's a single clear word or first name, create an acronym using positive adjectives. Now I use that prompt. I call it my waitress prompt. I use that prompt when I go to a restaurant and I find out the waitress's name because I can just input their name into Inject, and then my output is the person that I meet today will have these traits. And let's say it's Kelly, so it'll be kind, effervescent, loving, so it'll take their name and basically list five positive attributes about them. And then I have that outputted
I
to
love that.
my
I
printer
love
or
that.
or something like that or whatever. So anytime that I encounter somebody positive throughout the day or whatever, I can just go to my inject and have several different outputs or whatever, and that's what that does. And then if if it's a two character code like JH or 10S, spell the full card name. And then lastly, if input is a verse and chapter of a Bible, it will repeat or it'll give you back the verse. So the way that I was thinking about that is you can be like a Bible scholar where they give you a verse and chapter and then boom, you can have a hidden earpiece and you know exactly what verse and chapter of the Bible or whatever it is, and you could have it repeated back to you so you can expound upon that or you could have whatever output that is going to be. But the concept of what this does is it took all of those prompts that I already had and made them into one condensed prompt. So
One prompt.
whatever the prompt, whatever the input is detected, and then that detects whatever the output is going to be. So if the input is a date, it's going to be a zodiac sign. But if I write, then the cool thing is I tested this out like for a couple hours. I was so excited about it afterwards. Like if you put in James, for example, it'll do the acronym. It'll just do, jealous, or, jovial, whatever for the positive adjectives. But if you put in James 2:15, that's enough information to go, okay, that's a Bible verse, and then it'll transmit the Bible verse without doing the acronym or whatever. It's smart enough to decipher between the two.
Wow.
And the
Wow.
cool thing is, if it's not, if you get some negatives back, then you can go back and play with it and put the brackets in or do the things that is required so that way those negatives don't come about. Or if you get something like added contextual items that you don't want, like Cancer when they're talking about the non-zodiac or whatever, then you just add that little part to the
Mhm.
prompt to make sure that that part is eliminated. So the two things that I just wanted to share were, of course, that master prompt that Greg was so excited about, and I was too, because that means that you don't necessarily have to have that like all your prompts separately where you go separately throughout. But the way that I was thinking about how I would use that is I probably would just use that master prompt casually. Like if I was out performing for somebody and I wanted the prompt to be dead solid perfect, that I knew it was going to work, then I would make sure that I was choosing the prompt that I wanted to be specific for that routine. But if I'm out and about and I just have the master prompt loaded or whatever, and then I want to do some effect on the fly, I can do whatever effect I want. And then I don't have to worry about what the output is going to be because it's already going to be controlled by that master prompt. And that's how I think I would use it, at least intellectually, until I made sure that that was correct or whatever. But the two things that I really like about this is like using your transmitter not just for cards. Cards was just a basic example, but what I like is you can use it as a like a crib almost, where you just have a simple word and this word means this as output. So, so you could have apple or the letter A, for example, means a really long word, or the letter B, for example, means this. So whatever list that you create and you transmit can be translated via the output, whatever prompt that you design. So it could be A equals this word or whatever. So that means, let's say we're using voice as your input. You can say a word that means the three of hearts, but you never even mentioned the three of hearts. But the inject picks up on that word and says, okay, he means the three of hearts there. Boom, we're going to transmit the three of hearts to whatever output that you want. And conceivably, you've never even touched a device or done anything. So basically, you can use those as key phrases that will do that as well. So that's talking a little bit more on the, you know, higher end type of thing. But those are all things that I've been messing around with, trying to do those inputs and things like that. All trying to take this to the next level.
Yeah, Gordon, thank you. That's so good. And I am overwhelmingly thrilled that you shared your positive affirmations idea here. Mainly because when Gordon first told me about the positive affirmations, it just blew me away. There is no cooler way of creating an acronym than having someone type in the name of a loved one, and getting as a response the magician creating a series of words that are these positive affirmations that spell their name, you know? It is emotionally resonant. I mean, everything about it is brilliant. And finally, what Gordon mentioned about combining prompts together, it was the first time that we had ever seen anything like that before, you know, in being able to create prompts that are smart enough to take different things that can be coming into the input and intelligently decide how to output based on the input, you know. So Gordon, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing all of this. And so I want to now just take, 'cause we've been already at this for about an hour and 18 minutes. I want to just kind of like open it up for questions right now, before we sign off.
Positive affirmations. Is there any idea of getting a prompt for that? Because I like that idea, like you say, family member, and then you get the peak of the word and the affirmations and revealing it as
Sure. The if you do the prompt is just create an acronym with each of the letters of the input using positive adjectives.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
And
I
I
have.
use it for not only names, but you can use it for like anything when you think about it, anything that they type out. The reason that I like positive adjectives is if you don't give it that prompt, it'll do any word. You know what I mean? And you don't want necessarily any word that it's pulling from, you know. In fact, the more specific about the words that you can do, you know. And what's cool about this too is like I I don't know if he's still in here, but like I do occasionally. I've done about 6 or 7 tutorials with Purdy Feller, and I don't know if he's on still or not. But like I just did one in Finnish for him. So that's what's cool is you meet somebody like you don't know or whatever that speaks a different language on the fly, and you want your output to be in their language. Just boom, prompt on the fly, whatever the input is, translate to that specific language. And that's what I did. And like he typed in a specific word, I think it was banana or something like that, and whatever the Finnish word for it, which I don't even know, was the output. It could be printed out on your printer or whatever. So basically, you can make a prediction in a language that you don't even speak.
Wow.
When you think about it like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a question.
sure.
Um, there, you can create your own prompts, and you must write the prompts only in English, or you can write it in German and translate it, and it
You
knows.
can write your prompts in whatever language you like. So
Okay,
large
cool.
language models understand all the languages. So you don't even have to tell it that the prompt
Mhm.
is in German. Just simply write your prompt in German and it will figure it out.
Okay. And
And
do
sorry,
yeah.
and by the way, if you the recommended thing to do is to write the prompt in your language because the output will be in your language too. Besides the prompts the users create, there is a master prompt that goes with every prompt in Inject AI, and that master prompt says answer in the language of the instructions of the prompt. So if you write in German or whatever language you use, the output will be in that language. So it's recommended to use your language, unless you can also use an English prompt and tell in the prompt answer in German, and
Sure.
it will work too.
Cool,
Um,
cool. And for some time now, my Apple Watch, has not been receiving any notifications, no matter what I do, even when I have Inject is turned on, and to become notifications, it don't sense. I don't know why, but it's
Okay.
maybe since 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Pretty easy to fix that. One of the easiest things you can do to fix that is to just delete Inject and then reinstall it from the App Store. That most of the time resets the entire
Okay.
push notification system of the operating system. Yeah, and if you try that and that fails, please let me know because there's other things that we can try as well. But that should pretty much fix it.
Isn't the
Also,
phone?
also make sure that the phone is in sleep or lock mode.
That's right. That's right. Very, very important that your phone
That was it.
actually is asleep. And that is only regarding Apple Watches and not any of the other watch manufacturers in the world.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And sorry, one thing. Do you have to turn off the glitch effect to use AI in some effects
No,
or
no,
no?
no,
Okay.
not at all, not at all. They can actually work together. Guy provided an example where them working together actually would
Yes.
be beneficial. Um, I usually, in the kind of performances that I do, don't need glitch when I'm doing
Mhm.
Inject AI. Glitch is, by definition, a more of a visual kind of a trick. It's not really mentalism. It's more of like it's flashy, right? Yeah, whereas Inject AI, really, really excels in classic mentalism, where its strength is creating that disconnect between what the input is and what the output is.
Really cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank
It's a
you.
nice effect.
Yeah,
Great.
it's really fun. All right, anybody else?
Right, this is Jeff. I just want to go back real quick to what I brought up earlier with the two phones, transmitter and receiver.
Yeah,
So for the basic AI effect, the spectator's phone is the transmitter, and the performer's phone is the receiver. So you start out, I guess the performer would start out taking the spectator's phone, the transmitter, and saying, I'm going to make a prediction. But all the performer is doing is setting up the Inject AI, maybe selecting the prompt and all that.
That's correct.
Then the spectator. Okay. So then yeah, the performer opens up the fake Google page on the spectator's phone.
That's right.
Then the spectator takes the phone, types something in, and then the magician's phone, which is the receiver, is receiving whatever the prompt outputs.
That's correct. You,
So
you could do it that way if you wanted to, but Jeff, I highly recommend that you do what you just described right now, actually with two borrowed phones, in contrast to the magician's phone. So
okay,
that way the magician's phone is never involved in a performance, and it makes it very impromptu. You're just borrowing a phone and saying, I'm just going to do a quick Google search on your phone, and you proceed from there. But if
so
you did want to
that's
do it on your phone, you're more than welcome to.
okay. So what you're saying is basically the lazy inject,
That's right.
basically. But unfortunately, I do these things like one on one,
Right.
so I don't have another spectator.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
So
Yes.
so
Yes.
there are times I can see where I wouldn't want to just say Christine Aguilera.
That's
I
right.
might want to I might want to show the spectator
That's right.
what comes up on my phone.
That's right. That's right. And Jeff, one of the great things about Inject AI is that in the past there was this direct relationship between what the spectators searched for and what you received on your phone. Okay, which kind of telegraphs what the method of the trick is, obviously. Like, hey, and I don't know how, but some way or the other, my phone transmitted over to the magician's phone, right? So whereas now we have this extra layer of deception where the magician is saying, I'm like, as a matter of fact, if I just quickly share my screen here with you guys, because I wanted to show even icons, so here we go. I choose share. I'm going to share my desktop, and we are now looking at my phone. I'm going to jump into icons here right now from the French twins. Okay, so here is icons, and you can see that the last transmission that was from icons just a moment ago was Jude Law that just disappeared right now, and it's showing something totally different, right? And so previously, prior to Inject AI, what would happen is the spectator would do a search for something, and whatever that was, with the spelling mistakes and everything, it would come across into, like in this particular case, the icons reveal, right? Whereas now, look at how brilliant it is using icons with Inject AI. So here is now, okay, so the phone on the left is the magician simply shows the icons on their phone and says, I'm going to try to play a game of influence for you. Okay. You're not going to know that I'm influencing you, but I'm already influencing you. So you show them your phone, which is what you see here on the left-hand side, and you leave the phone face up on the table, right? And so now you ask the spectator, you have them bring out their phone, you borrow their phone for a moment, you jump into your fake Google page, okay, or you're welcome to use Realist if you don't want to touch that spectator's phone, right? And you're going to have them do a search for whatever they want. So in this particular case here, I'm going to go ahead and select most famous work, right? And the spectator says, I'm going to turn back. I don't want to see it. Okay, just type in whoever you want, right? A famous actor or actress. They type in Jack Black, right? Watch what happens. Okay, they've typed in Jack Black, right? Over here, which is my phone that is sitting face up on the table, they don't notice it, but now the icons have changed to School of Rock, which is just crazy, right? Okay. So the spectator on their phone is looking at just the simple Google search for Jack Black, right? And so now at this point you say to them, so did you feel that this decision that you made was your free choice? And the spectator says, yes, it was. So you didn't feel like I influenced you in any way in selecting this person? And they're like, no. He says, well, actually, I did. Right? And that's when you simply show them the phone that's been in front of them face up the whole time. And you highlight to them that you had prearranged the icons on your screen so that it spells out School of Rock. And you're like, School of Rock? That's the famous movie that's from Jack Black, right? Again, this wonderful, wonderful disconnect, you know? Um, and so because it's not just on the magician's phone, the icons right now just simply don't say Jack Black, right? Now, obviously, if you wanted to perform it where you had selected, let's say, the correction tab, right? And or the correction AI prompt, and the result was going to be Jack Black spelled correctly, then of course you're welcome to do it that way as well. So
Thank you.
Jeff, yeah. So Jeff, what you just said right now about a circumstance where you're performing one-on-one with someone, where you only have one spectator sitting in front of you, okay, this is a wonderful way of using Inject AI.
Greg, I did notice, but on the phone that says School of Rock,
Yeah.
when their icons rearranged, did the peak actually show through also?
No, I'm afraid it doesn't. It just
Well,
is
that's good.
just showing School of Rock. Yes.
No, Greg, on your phone, it will show the peak come down because it is the notification that drops down. That's what he's talking
Right.
about.
Because yes,
But
that's
you would
correct. That's
turn
correct.
that
I know.
off. You would turn that
You
off
would
if
turn
you
that off. That's correct.
had your
Yeah.
icon
Yeah, Gordon, thank
removed.
you for bringing that to my attention. Absolutely. Yeah. Rick, sorry that I misunderstood what you were saying.
I,
Yes,
I wasn't sure
yes.
if it dropped down or not.
It
Uh,
did. It
But
dropped
the,
down. And that was just simply
the
because I have my push notifications on for Inject.
so
So Mhm.
before doing icons, you would have to shut the push notifications off, do the icons effect, and then if you're going to go back to any other
Yes.
inject, turn them back on.
Turn it back on. You got it.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right. Thanks.
the
absolutely.
the, per- the performer would have to know though that the result in the icons, for example, School of Rock, the performer has to know that that was a Jack Black movie.
Yeah, it really,
Otherwise,
it doesn't
otherwise
really
you're
even
stuck.
matter.
Yeah, but AI is going to get it right.
The AI is going to
Well,
get it right. Like,
AI will get it right, but like uh, if I'm the performer and I see School of Rock
and
and
you
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
that
School
was
of
the
Rock is, right?
right, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
like
that's actually, Jeff. I actually think that that's a positive. Okay, and then let me tell you what I mean by that. Um, Even if the magician doesn't know, like in the performance that I have in the Inject AI promo video, okay, the young man had done a search for Adam Sandberg, right? Um, Adam Sandberg, it's and I had used the most famous work of Adam Sandberg, and so what appeared on my daughter's phone was the famous television show that Adam Sandberg had been in, right? And I am completely unaware of that television show. I don't know anything about it, right? Okay, but it still doesn't matter because the reveal speaks for itself. Does that make sense,
Uh,
Jeff?
it does make sense, but then the spectator would have to know that, like for example, in the Jack Black example, the spectator
Right,
puts in Jack Black. You show the spectator, well, my icons spell School of Rock. The
right,
spectator says, "What School of Rock? Is that a movie that Jack Black was in?"
That's his
right,
You
right,
most
know,
right, right.
that's his
You're
most famous work.
yeah, that's not you're
99% of the
100% right.
people are gonna know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
most of
okay.
the people are gonna know that. You're gonna know that. If you don't, then you say, "What? Do you live under a school of rock?" Because I mean, like 99% of people are gonna know that type of thing. You know
that's
what I'm
right. That's
saying?
right. Yeah.
I got you. That makes sense. Okay, that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Jeff, I agree with you. Yeah. There obviously could be a situation where the spectator is unaware that Jack Black is the leading actor of School of Rock. Yes. And in that
Yeah.
particular case, you would fail. But you know what? That's not even necessarily a fail. Okay. Mainly because when you present School of Rock, and if you see that there's this blank stare in the eyes of the spectator, you say, have you heard of School of Rock? And they would say no. So that's, who's the leading actor in School of Rock? I don't know. Look it up. Right. So even then, you're not going to get like a fail. It's still going to work. Right.
Yeah.
But it won't
Yeah.
be like immediately obvious to the spectator.
Okay. Well, I think, like as you guys say, Gordon and you, Greg, that the 99% of the time, yes, I agree. The spectator picks Jack Black. It's for a reason.
Right.
So the spectator would probably know that School of Rock is that movie, is their
That's
movie. So
right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
that makes sense. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
And
You're welcome.
and just one more. After you make a new AI prompt, you have to regenerate a new code and insert that into Inject.
No, you do not. And I'm glad you asked that, Rick. If you go back to the Inject AI user interface. Okay.
Okay.
One of the things that you'll notice that Guy has done here is that you have these categories for Inject AI, pardon me, Enhanced Inject, that have a little eye that's to the right-hand side of that. And if you were to tap on that eye, notice it says changes in this section require generating a new code and pasting it into Inject, right? Whereas in contrast, you look at these two items that are at the bottom, which is glitch and inject AI,
Okay.
have these little lightning bolts as the
Yeah.
icons that are to the right hand side. What that means is that whatever changes you make in either the glitch settings or the inject AI settings, the moment you make that change, so for example, if I go in here and I make a change about changing, let's say, trigger mode to Google Peak only, right? Notice that now the save button that used to be ghosted before is no longer ghosted. And also the lightning bolt icon now is orange, which means that now when I tap on the save button, it means that now I don't have to copy and paste that code into inject. Okay, it just got it. Okay, this is an update that updates the server, and the server just knows it. And then, by the way, very soon, with Guy and I, and also Matt Redelick, we are working on a way of making everything that is an enhanced inject be just a built-in thing in inject so that it's no longer this piece of code that you are just copying and pasting into inject. It'll just be a fundamental feature that's in inject that you don't have to worry about copying and pasting or anything else like that
Okay.
anymore.
Because I just made the prompt for what were we just talking about?
The emojis or
No,
the affirmations.
the affirmation. I just did it worked fine.
Yeah.
I went into inject right after. I didn't. I guess I didn't hit save or something.
Right.
Uh,
Make
and
sure you
it
hit
wasn't
save, and then also please make sure that you resort that prompt so it's the top six
the
prompts.
top. I made it to the top six,
Mhm.
and then I didn't do anything else. So you still have to hit save and generate code, but you
Save.
don't have to paste it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All
You
right.
do have to
That's
save.
where it went.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Dee, I hope you heard what he just said.
Sorry, I didn't.
You did? Okay. So Guy, this is something that Guy and I had talked about before. These are like philosophical discussions that Guy and I have about like user interfaces. So essentially, Guy, what Rick said was that he made a change, and because he had forgotten to hit the save button in Inject AI, it did not save.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked when I went to my page, but then I closed Inject AI and went, oh, let me try that again. And when I went back, everything was resorted. It wasn't number 6 anymore. It wasn't even in there. So I forgot that I saw the lightning thing.
Forgot
So
to save.
it should have done it by itself, but I just never, I thought I didn't have to hit save because right next to save is and copy code. I go, well, I don't have to do that. So I never hit save.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. This is something me and Greg discussed before.
We discussed this
Of
before.
course,
Yes.
both options, having to tap a save and being automatic
Like an autosave.
has
Mhm.
its cons and pros, of course. You know, sometimes the problem, as I told Greg, the problem with the autosave, it's maybe you are messing with a prompt that it's already okay. You just want
Mm,
to have fun, you know, and
Right.
and
you
screw it up.
forget to undo what you are doing
Yeah.
because right now the UI has no undo
There's no undo.
button.
That's right.
So you would need to do that manually. So
Okay.
having to save or not has uh,
Right.
their
Has its pros
cons
and
and
cons.
pros. So yeah, yeah.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
basically make a new prompt, hit the save, just don't copy the code and paste it.
Yeah, you don't have to copy and paste it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if you did, it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Well, if I didn't hit the save, obviously nothing happened.
that's
Because
right.
it
That's right.
was like one sentence, save and copy. No, I'm not supposed to do that. So I just never hit save.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the injecting AI and the glitch,
Yeah.
these two sections doesn't need to copy and paste the code. I
Okay.
think
Yeah. Yeah. I
what it's
just
talking
discussed
about,
that
right?
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was taking care of my daughter. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thanks again.
Sure. No problem. All right, guys. We'll take a couple of last questions before we sign off.
Just let me give you another option because you mentioned it, the icons. We a great app. Another idea, of course, I'm selling my fish here, but another idea of when you are presenting one-to-one is to use the architect of predictions. Another app from me that allows you to create a prediction using a photo. So you could have like a photo of you holding a piece of paper or a card or whatever, like taking 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago, or whatever you like. So, and it works with Inject and Inject AI. So you could have a photo in your photo library with this prediction taking like days or weeks ago with
Mhm.
the answer of the Inject AI. If you are using, of course, the most
That's
famous
right.
work, it would have like a reading the most famous work of the artist they searched. So it's another idea to perform one-to-one. And yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're gonna. It's funny you even said that. Maybe 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I just picked up Architect, and I got the lifetime. So I got the whole package, and it's
Oh, that's great.
I haven't
Welcome
even.
aboard.
Thanks, man. I haven't even looked at it yet. I go, I want it. I don't know why, but I want it. Oh, lifetime, yeah, lifetime. Everything is mine. So I,
It's a
That's
great
great.
product. It's a
Thank you
great
for the
product. You're gonna
support,
love
and
it.
I hope you like it. You love it because it's my baby, you know. So yeah.
Mhm. And on your page, you still sell I remember seeing it someplace. You still sell the shortcuts. You had like a list of shortcuts for
Yeah,
inject.
yeah.
That's
I have an ebook with shortcuts for Inject specifically.
was like volume one
So
still.
yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
It's there yet. And there's a great method to use with the real Google. So you could use the real Google on the
Mm,
spectator phone and still having a peek of what they searched it. And it
okay.
works as well with Inject AI. So it's a nice tool to have in hand, you know, to use as well.
Great, great. Hey, thanks a lot. And it looks great. I just don't know how the picture when it adds the picture to your gallery does it go into the last picture added or can you backdate it so it's like
No,
5 photos up.
it can be whatever date you want. You can even make it appears on the date that the spectator says. So you can ask them their birthday, for example, and it will appears on their birthday, the picture. So yeah, it's really versatile. You can make the photo appears wherever you
So it
like,
doesn't have to
whenever
be
you
the
like.
last picture. It won't be the last picture in the gallery. It'll be like 5 or 6 up.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
perfect.
That's right.
All right, great. Thanks again.
All right. Any other questions, comments, challenges?
This is marvelous. This is just fantastic. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
sure.
Yeah. We're pretty jazzed about it, and I think that there's going to be several different levels of how people are going to use it. We're going to have a lot of professional magicians out there that are going to be using this with some of the more expensive electronic devices that are on the market. From the Glyphs printers to the Cosmos printers to the Lumen Pro pads to, I mean, you name it, to Prism, all of the wonderful expensive electronic products that are on the Magic market. So
The
people,
IR will post it.
I'm sorry?
The IR will post it also. The
Yeah.
IR will post it
Say that
notepad.
again,
Sure.
Rick.
It's IR will post it notepad. It's another input device but
Absolutely.
it looks like
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
And
Those, I mean, just about all of the products that are currently on the market work with Inject. So,
and
um,
as far as the icons, is that available on your site?
Icons, we have once again the 15% discount. Icons is available from the French Twins website.
Okay.
You guys, it normally sells for $49, but if you go to the French Twins website right now and you want to purchase it, I highly recommend it. 15% off. You simply type in the word inject as a promo code when you go to check out. Inject all in all caps, please.
Mhm.
And it will give you 15% off your purchase. So you'll
And
save
it
about
has,
$8.
and I guess it has a place to put your inject code within the app to do all this.
Yes, it does. Yes. As a
Perfect.
matter of fact, since we're looking at it right now, I'll show you exactly where it is. Okay, so this is right now the Icons app. Let me go ahead and minimize this out of the way so you guys can see the screen. So as you can see on the screen right now, I'm in the Icons settings. You're going to scroll down and select Advanced. And you can also see that over here it says Applications API, right? And so when you
Mhm.
click on that, there is a variety of different products that it integrates with. The one that's all the
Mhm.
way at the top is Inject. And you notice how it says listen to Inject, and that's currently on, and how it says that the identifier is simply my Inject ID, and that's
Cool.
it. Yeah, it's that simple.
Right.
And the moment that you set it up, I mean, the Icons app is set up so well that from the moment that you download it onto your phone and you launch it to the moment that you put in your Inject ID, you're done. It's working. There's nothing else for you to do. It's just that easy, you know? And the default background is beautiful. It behaves exactly. And take a look at, like, for example, what I'm doing right now. I'm swiping through a variety of pages that are on my phone, right? Like you would do normally on your phone. Well, that's completely fake. Okay, I'm right now inside of the app. I'm not on my phone, right? And so when you show this to your spectators and you scroll with your finger, it just looks like you're just swiping through the icons that you have on your phone. They would never be the wiser. And that's one of the reasons why I love icons. I mean, it's really, really rare for me to perform something that I haven't made, but I
Mhm.
perform icons.
Oh, it
Mainly
integrates with
because of
inject
how well it works with Inject and Inject AI.
and all
And
the
In
changes you
general,
have.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
I know, I saw Craig for about 1 year ago in Blackpool, and
Yep.
he fooled many magicians with Inject. What what am I thinking of? And the screen turns to the search things, yeah,
Yep.
and people are fooled by this.
Yes.
and they have inject. Yeah,
They have inject.
that
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
great.
Covert typing fools people. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you. And by the way, once again, when you combine covert typing with Inject AI, okay, the results are really dramatic because now what you are inputting is a disconnect from what the receiver is going to be, you know? So
yes,
and
and
one of
the
the other things that happens with covert typing is that oftentimes you make spelling mistakes as you type with covert typing,
yeah,
right? Whereas now, because of the correction AI, you just turn that on and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
that's so great. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, the other cool thing, Greg, is that you don't even have to display the icons to the participant. You could just use it to glance down at your phone and see School of Rock, and you're just getting this image in your head
that's right.
of School Rock. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
That's
you're
right.
just you the magician are using it more covertly just by
That's right.
looking at the text.
Absolutely. A lot of people use icons purely as a peaking device. Purely as a peaking device. As a matter of fact, Lior Suchard has this wonderful performance where he is using Inject on the French Twins' website for the performance of icons. And Lior does this thing where he gets the peak first, he tells the spectator what that information is, and then he reveals that that choice that the spectator made was not a free choice. And then he just simply turns around the phone that's on the table and shows that he had basically influenced that decision all along. So, yeah, it is a great tool regardless of how you use it. If you even don't use it as a reveal, just as a peek, hell yeah.
But if possible, could I ask a question in relation to the Safari icon on the bottom of icons? Because at
Yes.
the moment that's defaulting to GGO.
What?
The Safari icon that's currently at the bottom of icons?
Yeah, if you
Oh,
click on that on yours,
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. This is something that the French twins are going to have to change
yeah,
in their product to accommodate. Yes. Um, Ever since the whole thing that happened between Google and I'm afraid I can't make GGO or GG0, I should say, go back to being the fake Google page. Once we take G0 away from Google, which we could actually, that's relatively easy to do, then that would happen. So if the French twins simply change this URL so that it is qqone.us, then it will all work perfectly.
yeah. That's
Mhm.
that's in hand with them, I assume then.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They would have to do that. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Gary.
another good thing with icons as well is you can set your own background so it's identifiable to you. So you can have a picture of yourself or something that the spectator might recognize as being yourself and your partner, your own background. So it
That's
looks
right.
more genuine.
That's exactly right. Yeah, in this particular case over here, the background that you're seeing in the Icons app is actually identical to my background. So this is my real background right now, and here is the Icons background. They're exactly the same.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Greg, when we're going to QQ1 or GLQLC
Yeah.
on spectator's phone and it goes there and the fake page comes up, is there any way to have it show the G with the dot google.com instead of the
Um,
QLC?
Yeah, there is right now, but we need to make the SSL. SSL is the HTTPS or the
Mhm.
secure version of the site
Yeah, yeah.
work. Okay, one of the challenges of making secure sites work through all of the providers is that the providers have a hard time, providers meaning like hosting platforms
Mhm.
and everything else like that, is that providers kind of get thrown a loop when they see characters that are like Unicode characters, and
Okay.
so essentially they throw up errors and bugs, right? And so both Matt and I end up spending a lot of time fighting the fact that internet, people that sell hosting services that also sell the ability of purchasing SSL certificates
Mhm.
oftentimes don't know about puny codes, you know. But we have a solution for that. By the way, if you wanted a solution to that right now, it's really easy. Let me show that to you. Okay, so here I am in regular Safari, right? The only
Yeah.
thing you have to do is HTTPS colon forward slash forward slash. Okay, just make sure that you start by typing HTTPS colon forward slash forward slash. I'm going to type into Google, so hold down the G, go and select the dot. So that's the secret. You want to hold your finger down on the G, select the dot,
Right.
and then here's google.com. Hold down the dot, there's the .com, and then here's my ID, and watch what happens now. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. You got the G down at the bottom.
Yep. Yep.
Okay?
Exactly.
So that
Because
does work.
once in a while I try that and I got the warning, and this was on. I was out in a restaurant on their Wi-Fi,
Oh,
and then
yeah, yeah. It
I would
won't
have to
now. It won't now. If you were to go back to a restaurant and try it again, it will not give you any warning.
okay,
It will
and
be
if I
just that.
wanted, and I be able to put that HTTPS, the weird G Google on an NFC tag and use that.
By all means, you're more than welcome to.
But that's my easiest way to do it. I'll tell
Sure.
somebody to go to the Google page. They go to the Google page, and I'll tell somebody else, and I'll just put the phone. I have a little,
That's
it's like
right.
a piece of a thumb tip, and I
That's
hold the
right.
phone, and it within seconds, just click it,
You're in.
okay, hand it
Yeah,
back.
yeah. NFC tags are amazing, by all
Hmm.
means. Yeah, you're
Okay,
welcome to
great.
use it. By the way, hopefully sometime today or tomorrow, we're going to get the google.com up and running. So we'll get the SSL certificate working, which means that when it is working, then obviously you don't have to type the HTTPS in front of
Right.
it. It'll just by
If it's on
typing
the NFC,
google.com, it'll just work.
yeah, if it's on an NFC tag, it wouldn't matter. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. In an
yeah,
NFC tag, you can program whatever, so
yeah, yeah,
having the HTTPS there is not going to hurt you. Yeah.
yeah. Great. Thanks again. Well, again,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Sure. All right. Anybody else? You guys are awesome. Well,
Hey,
this has
Greg,
been
I do have
amazing.
one question.
Sure, Bobby. How you doing? Hello.
Good, good. I'm here on I just did the HTTP. I see yours comes out just how I want it, but mine does come out saying not secure before anything.
HTTPS.
Okay.
HTTPS. The S is very important. If you don't include the S, it means that it's not a secure website. So once you type in HTTPS colon forward slash forward slash google.com forward slash your ID, you're in. And Bobby, I'll wait for you to confirm that.
See, now it does say this connection is not private.
Okay, what's your ID? Or like, tell me your ID when we're off the air. Okay, and I'll try it.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
perfect. I'll just send it to you a private message on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, yeah. It should work. I mean, you,
Okay,
you saw me just do it right now on my phone, and it worked fine. So yeah.
okay, I'll
Did you
shoot that to you
use,
anyways.
Bobby, did you use the G with the dot over it?
I did use it.
Okay.
HTTPS, the two dots forward slash Google with the dot on top,
Okay.
.com.
Okay.
And that is what I got right now.
Okay. Okay. Are you in Safari right now?
Yes, I
You are?
am.
Okay. Okay, no problem. I'll give it a try. I'll let you
Okay,
know.
Hey,
I'll send that to you. Thank
Bobby,
you.
Bobby, do you have a thing on this says on that page that says show details?
Yes, I do.
Click on that and
Okay.
then click on show website. Scroll up. It says should
Visit the website.
visit the website, right?
Okay. I do remember this happening previously.
Yes.
Okay. So is this something I might have to worry about if I'm using a spectator's phone?
Once Greg gets the security thing added, then this will probably be solved as well. But this is a way that you can go to the website. It's just that extra step of going through the security process and actually visiting the website to go through. Because I just had to do the same thing, and
Okay.
I got to my site. I did the first time I went through the security thing or whatever, and I visit this website, and then it does go through. And that's on my Wi-Fi. I haven't checked it on my network yet. So on the network, it might not even happen. But on my Wi-Fi, which is AT&T here, and that's what happened is I got that warning
Okay.
site.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
great.
And then, by the way, something that Gordon and I always talk about is that when Inject started, about 11 years ago, we only had 11z.co, right? And the way that we lived with 11z.co is that when the page was visited, the only thing that we would do is just slightly scroll up on the page. You can notice that when I did slightly scroll up on the page, how it made the URL become really tiny at the bottom of the page.
Mhm.
Really,
Yeah,
really easy to do.
there's all kinds of things that you can do too. There's hiding the text, there's hiding the toolbar. You can do all kinds of different stuff if you're worried about it. But here's the
That's
thing,
right.
is I never worried about it. In fact, when I used to get code, well, why is it 11z.co? Oh, that's just a shortcode so I don't have to type in Google every time. And
Yeah.
because of what I was doing, they were literally buying it, hook, line, and
Okay,
sinker.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I
but
did just try it again too. How you told me to continue to the site, and then I put the
Hello,
link
thank
again,
you
and
for
it did
calling
work
Phoenix.
right
My
now.
name
I
is
am
Jose.
on
How
mine
may I
now, and
help you?
it is
Yeah,
working fine
it'll save that as cached on your own phone. It'll save that as cached. Whatever you did the first time, it'll save it as cached. But if not, like you'll do it on the spectator's device. You might have to
Yeah,
do this the
just
first
do that
time.
little method, pushing it forward. That's fine. That's not a problem at all. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
You're
Hey,
welcome.
Greg, is Guy still there?
Guy might still be here. Guy, are you still with us?
I'm taking off too, Greg. Have a
Okay,
great day,
Gordon,
Greg.
thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, yes, yeah, I am. I am.
Again,
Sorry.
thanks again for your generosity and for your information. Thank you.
I thought this was a proper time. Guy, um, we were just discussing the Google with the dot over the G.
Oh yeah,
Once,
I was hearing. Yeah.
yes, once that is secure and running, that might be good to use as your default for the URLs like I just purchased, from you, so that when
Hmm.
they go to the site, it's referencing this because it looks so much better,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Actually, are you talking about Google, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the idea of Google is exactly that. It's a safe way of you are accessing Inject. So right now it's redirecting for Google, with
Yes.
C at the end. But of course, the moment the Google with the dot, it's 100% safe and has the security thing added. The Google will automatically redirect for that. So yeah,
Because
that's some purpose actually.
the thing I like about the Google with a dot over is it just looks like maybe there's a speck of dirt or something on the
That's right. It
screen.
does.
Yeah, it's so
Oh, yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the way, I think that the best way of presenting Inject is asking the spectator for what they are thinking. Think about an actor and blah blah blah, and then giving the phone with the text field already
Selected.
on focus, because the URL will be really really small at the bottom of the
Hmm.
phone, so it's a safer way, and in that moment the spectator will be thinking about what they need to type and not about the page. It's just the Google.
Right.
So when you give the spectator phone to them in the moment of the action, it's like zero chances of them noticing the URL, even if it's 11z.co,
Right.
because they are it's impossible for the human mind to focus on two things in the same time. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
if they have an action to do, that's what their focus will be.
That's what
So
they will.
yeah, but yeah, you're right. Once the Google with the dots on the G, it's working 100%. The Google will also direct to that.
You're awesome. And by the way, just for anyone else, his Oogle product is awesome. It makes your typing so much quicker when you're working with the
Thank you.
participant.
Thank you. I'm glad you like.
Mhm.
All right. Any more questions before we sign off?
My
Cool.
last one would be somebody mentioned earlier the whole covert type. Does that still work the same with AI? You just choose the right prompt in AI that you
Yes,
want.
yes, it does. As a matter, who's asking the question?
Me, Craig Burns.
Hi, Craig. Hello. Yes. Let me go ahead and actually do that for you so you can see exactly how it works. Okay. So the device that is on the left is going to be doing the covert typing. The device that is going to be on the right will be the receiver. Okay. So I'm going to just simply type in my inject page here. All right, so there it goes. And on the receiver end, I will set the AI to be, let's do emojis. Why not? Okay, so here's emoji. Okay. And so now on the fake Google page, which is on the left-hand side, we're going to go ahead and do some covert typing. Okay, so here we go. And what's going to be interesting about me covert typing here is that instead of looking at the top of the page where the text is, I want all of you to look at the bottom of the page where the keyboard is. Okay, so here we go. You ready? So covert typing starts with QP. Notice that I typed in QP, but what has been typed here at the top is the letters MO. And that's because currently in Inject, my covert typing text is most common childhood memories. Okay. So I'm gonna type in, let's say, whatever, let's say, for example,
Yeah,
I
right.
type in pink rabbit. Okay, so now here we go. Pink space RABBIT and then QP again. Okay, now you notice the moment that I type the QP again, the transmission has already happened. Okay, and there it is right there. It says pink rabbit. Okay, so oops, let me say allow while using
So
app.
does it not have to be QPQM anymore?
Well, QPQM is in circumstances where you want to have the phone that you are on actually do the either the glitch effect or the inject reveal.
Okay.
But that will not go through the AI technology.
Right. Okay.
That does not. No, I'm afraid not. Yeah. So let me do that here just one more time. So most common childhood memories, as you can see that Pink Rabbit got transmitted and we're all set, right? And so as in this point here, you can actually continue typing in the text. You hit search. And on the left-hand side, you notice that what has been searched for is exactly what the sentence says, which is most common childhood memories, common prevalent childhood memories, blah, blah, blah. And it tells you what that is and goes on and on, right? So covert typing does work. It is pretty amazing, and it does work with Inject AI. It works with Inject AI when the receiver is a device that is other than the device that you are doing the covert typing on. So the only limitation that's in Inject AI right now is that if you are just on one spectator's phone and you're covert typing, for example, you make a spelling mistake, that is not going to work. Okay, and Matt and I and Guy are looking at some solutions for that, by the way. So that might, actually be a new feature coming up very soon, where even that limitation will be removed.
Excellent.
Yeah. You know what? Just because I was going to demonstrate the icons feature, let me do that for you guys just one more time, and let me make sure that the icons are going to come up here correctly.
Greg, excuse me, I have to go,
Oh,
but I
thank you,
want
Jeff.
to thank you. Thank you for a wonderful session. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, everybody, for raising your questions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for coming, Jeff. Thank you.
My pleasure. Talk to you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye bye.
All right. So here we are. As you can see, we have selected the emoji AI. On the right-hand side, I can choose anything that I want for the receiver. I'm going to leave it as just a default Google receiver, and I will do some covert typing of QP. Let's say we go pink cloud, QP again. Right. In this case, it did not go through the AI. We got to figure out why. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, Guy and I can do that later. Yeah. But normally the covert typing actually does go through the even the AI as well. Yes. Oh, it's because I just changed the setting in Inject AI. Okay, it's my mistake. Pardon me. It's my mistake. Okay. So if I go back to Inject AI, I open up Inject AI, and over here, see that? It has to be on any thumb, and now I hit save. There we go. It was my mistake. Okay. So let's try that again. We go back. Boom. All right. And let's go back to our fake Google page. There's that. And then on the right-hand side here, we go back to the fake Google page as well. We covert type something crazy. QP red car. QP. No. Let's try that again. Okay, there's that. I currently have the emoji selected, and here we go. QP. There we go. That's what I wanted to show you guys. There it goes. So you can see that now what has been received is correctly emojis of red and a car. So there you go. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all being here. If you do have any further questions that you think about later on, please feel free to ask them on our Facebook group. Oh, look at Gee's baby. Oh my God. Gee, congratulations. By the way, for those of you who don't
Oh,
know, Gee just had
nice.
a baby, right? That's Gee's
Ah,
first baby that he's holding in his hand right now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Greg.
oh,
Congrats.
congratulations, Ski.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yes. We got a lot of exciting stuff that we're working on right now. Rosami Magic is going to be making a pretty big announcement about a new product.
Oh,
Probably,
not more money.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, the next product that we're going to be releasing is a very high-end professionals product. But I think you guys are going to really, really like it. And there's been already some hints about the product that I've shown off. Using the business cards. In fact, if I have one of my business cards hanging around here, I'll show you what the product looks like. Yeah, just when I thought I wanted to show it off, I don't have it, but I am going to show it to you this way. I would have much rather had shown it to you actually on the business card itself, but um, this here is not a business card, but the upcoming product is related to Magician's business cards. So we'll see that coming soon. Yes, it's exciting stuff.
You say that's more for professionals.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Pricey.
considerably. Yeah, it's a more expensive product, but once we're ready to make the announcement, there was already a video that I put out that showed a performance using the business card. Um, but if you guys go back and look at some of the recent videos that I had uploaded, you'll see a performance using it. But I'm like looking at my desk here right now, looking for that card, and I just simply don't see it.
No worries.
Yeah, it's okay. But you'll see when we make the announcement about it, you'll see what it's all about. Yeah. All right.
So I
Thank
have
you
a quick
guys.
question.
Yes, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
I already bought Inject AI, however, it never really showed up. Like when I clicked the three dots, nothing happens. It was just like the normal Inject. So, and I activate everything, turn on everything. So, is it working now already for
Okay, yeah,
everyone?
Johnny, you're welcome to give me your Inject ID later on, once we're off the air so I can take a look at it. But
Okay.
the real reason why it didn't show up is because you did not copy and paste the latest version of your code into Inject?
I did though. Like you save, you generate the code, and you
Copy into
I
Inject.
did that like multiple times, and
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Johnny, like I'm gonna hang up right now, so you're welcome
okay,
to DM me right now, and I'll look at your
okay,
account and we'll get it up and running. I promise you.
Thank you,
okay.
Greg. Thank you,
All
Gordon.
right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pete.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. It was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you,
Everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ski.
Guys, have a great
Bye
day.
bye.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.